So I will let you go first. You can just lay out your 4 series and you can give your reasons why, and then I'll lay out mine and
Okay.
we'll go from there.
Yeah, I think well, now that you mentioned them losing to the Grizzlies in 7, now I'm like kind of scared, but listen, okay, so I think you're right. Historically, you want to put off the best team as long as you can. And so that would likely, I mean, obviously there's a lot that can change, but likely that sets you up with a first round playoff series versus Memphis. I like that matchup for Denver. I think they probably have some issues with Ja at times, but I think offensively they can do enough to win that series in 5 or 6 games. That sets you up with a second round series with Oklahoma City going on the road, right? And I think which is crazy. I think I'm a little bit more confident. Also, I just think it would be way more fun to play Oklahoma City in a playoff series instead of LA. I am so sick of playing the Lakers in the
Oh
playoffs.
my
I never,
gosh,
I
same.
never want to
That's
see them
literally one of
again
my
ever.
bullet points is I just want new teams.
I do not want to play the Lakers again. It doesn't even have to do with them being amazing, which they're a lot better, but I just don't want to ever play them in the playoffs ever again. It's too much stress. It's too much hate. My mind, I shouldn't have that much hate in my soul. So hopefully they can avoid the Lakers again. So Thunder second round, they could beat the Thunder. I'd love to see the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. I know that's probably not the most realistic result there. It would be between
I think the
the
Warriors have a
Lakers.
lot of matchup issues in the West right now. I don't know that they make it to round 2
Yeah,
regardless.
I don't think the Warriors are that good. But it would be crazy if they could go into the second round and beat LA somehow. I don't see that happening. So so like that leaves LA or Houston, right? That you would get to play in the Western Conference Finals. So if we're doing likely, it's probably going to be LA.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, preferred, it would be Houston or Golden State in that Western Conference Finals. Houston, yeah, Houston or Golden State. Who's more likely between Houston or Golden State to make it to the Western Conference Finals? That
Oh
doesn't
my
seem very
gosh.
likely, right?
That's tough. I think
It
I
could be
have.
Minnesota. It actually could be Minnesota again. It actually might be
Honestly,
more
yeah.
likely for
Like
those
if they
two.
get to avoid Oklahoma City, I think they're a bad matchup for a lot of teams. Like they're just a good playoff team. They've got a lot of resilient factors. And I think their offense is a bit more diversified now. Let's assume you get the best version of playoff Julius Randle, then I think they could make it.
I don't want to play Minnesota again either, though. I'm gonna say Houston. I'm gonna
Let's
say
say
Houston.
Houston. Let's give them a
Yeah.
Cinderella story. Yeah.
And then we'll go Boston in the finals. I think
Okay.
that's Denver's got a better chance to beat Boston than they do Cleveland, which is crazy to
Yeah.
say.
No,
But
I completely agree with
it's
that. I
true.
think Cleveland or the Knicks, because those are just really, really awful matchups for us. And Cleveland's obviously really good.
Why are they? Well, it does not make sense that the Knicks are a bad matchup for Denver.
They just
I,
play 5 out. We can't guard them. It's really just we can't guard them.
it's very frustrating.
I guess
All right.
we're like, okay, OG Anunoby, are you going to score 40 every playoff game?
Yeah, seriously. So we have Grizzlies, Thunder, Houston, Boston.
They
That
might be,
would
if
be
the Knicks made the finals, they might be like super injured by the time they get there, though.
yeah. I'm curious
um,
how Brunson will come back from that ankle injury because that was a bad one, a really bad ankle injury.
yeah, I think he'll be fine
Those
though.
those
Like
linger.
he's
Those
really
linger.
tough. He's really tough though.
Yeah, just the tough it out mentality, right?
Yeah, those
Eternal
Villanova
optimism.
boys. Okay,
Right.
so my title path is very different than yours actually. The way that my Western Conference has OKC in 1, I have Memphis 2, and I like that sweet spot at 3 for Denver. Then I gave Houston the 4 because I don't want LA to
Who was your 2?
have home court. Memphis.
Memphis was your 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this is preference, right?
Okay. Okay.
So then I have the Warriors in 6 and the Clippers in 7. And I had the Kings knocking the Wolves out of the playoffs.
I love it.
The play
I
in.
love it.
So
Not out of the realm of
OKC gets to
possibility
play.
either. That's
Yeah,
not
I
out of the realm
mean
of possibility.
you can't be losing to the Pelicans right now, guys. Like
Pelicans, and then
that's coming from a Nuggets fan that just lost to the Wizards, but leave me alone.
the Pacers loss was almost worse than the Wizards loss, though.
It was more understandable though, because like it was just like what we did to the Warriors. Like they had no idea who was playing or how they'd play, and I think the Pacers always give the Pacers always give the Wolves trouble just because of the way that they play. Like it's 5-out drive and kick, right? And they just play really fast. I have Denver obviously playing the Warriors in the first round. I think that is our best matchup in the West. We have a size advantage. I'm less worried about the rest of their team. Like Steph could always go off, especially if he's able to find openings against us. But I just think the rest of their team is not enough. And I feel confident about our ability to dominate that matchup more physically.
Yeah, and I hope Jonathan Kuminga plays 40 minutes a night in that series. Because
I don't know about that. He kind of kills us when we're not playing Spencer Jones. No, that's the thing. It's like I know Kuminga, but I know how Kuminga looks against us.
Yeah, but he's one of those guys that premeditates his move every single time. Like he fits into that mold of player, and I think Denver does pretty well against those guys.
That's true. We do like those Tatums and not SGA.
Not SGA. Kawhi's.
Kawhi's, yeah. We don't have another matchup against the Clippers this season, and we haven't really gotten to see how our current defensive core looks against Kawhi. They've had success against him in the past, but that's one of the reasons that I don't like the hubris of being like, yeah, Clippers, like we definitely still own that matchup. I don't know about that right now. So I'm going to go with the Warriors.
You're better than me.
In round 2, I've got OKC facing the Lakers. And I think OKC handles the Lakers. I think it's a tough series because the Lakers are really physical and all of that. But OKC is like a better team by margin. And I think that should matter. And I do think that one of the things that they do not struggle with is teams that have quick decision makers. That's not really... Like they recover so fast, like they play really hard and they're ready to like bring it to you and in any given matchup. So I think that they're ready as a team to make, at least the Western Conference Finals. Then I have us facing Memphis in the second round. I have them beating the Clippers, but maybe we end up playing the Clippers in that scenario. And I think that at that point I'd be fine with it because I'm like, okay, we've made it through round 1. Like we've shown that we can like play basketball. Like let's try to do it again.
Right.
And then in round 3 in the Western Conference Finals, obviously we play OKC in that scenario. And then it's like, all right, here it is. Title fight, hopefully. Then for the finals, I've got us playing the Indiana Pacers.
Oh gosh.
The Pacers, they're just kind of like that pain in the ass of the Eastern Conference right now. They're not like a great team, but they're not really like a bad, like they don't have a bad matchup. Like there's no game where I've watched Indiana where I'm just like, oh, they can't do anything in here. Like I used to think that the Bucks matchup was that, like, oh, they can't do anything with Giannis, but they play so fast. Like they give the Bucks fits. They always play the Celtics close, unless it's one of those games where it's like Boston just making all their threes, right? Yeah. And even the Cavs,
that's only 150 win team for Denver to beat in that playoff stretch.
Yeah, that's one. Hey, there's one. Yeah, so there's your 50 win team with OKC. It's also like they might end up being a 70 win team. That should count.
NBA Twitter would lose their minds if the Nuggets got the Pacers in the finals.
The other, I would also be fine facing the Bucks.
Yeah. So confident in that matchup. I don't know why.
I was so mad that we lost that Bucks game. I'm like, Denver, even in your diminished state, you should have beaten this team. Like that was a dumb loss.
That was one of the only games I like this season where I'm like, they were so much better than that team, but they lost for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, that was very weird.
Can't get out coached by Doc Rivers either. Like, and then Boston, I think I would be okay with. I'm less confident in that matchup this year just because of my lack of confidence in Denver being able to consistently execute.
Yep.
And that's what you need to do against Boston. And I know like the Denver of old definitely could, but I'm worried about sort of late breakdowns in like key moments, like
Yeah,
the
that's
kinds of
fair.
things that you never expected in the past, where you're like, oh, they're definitely gonna like get over the hump here and like take that lead, or they're gonna, you know, out execute them in the clutch. I'm not necessarily as confident about that, but that matchup, like, I feel they're capable of beating that team.
No, I like it. I like it. It's a good lineup.
Click the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the
Subscribe
channel.
now.
Subscribe now, hit the button, and hit that notification bell. You can also leave us a review on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts. But, you know, always remember that winning is fun and losing sucks, especially to the Lakers, because those fans are so annoying since they've merged with Luka Doncic stance.
Yes, it's a nightmare. Absolute nightmare.